Hi folks, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to go into medial epicondylitis or golfer's elbow. I've had a couple of requests to do this video, so I'm going to try and make rehab videos for the more popular sort of requests for injuries that I get. So this basically occurs, it's pain and inflammation around this bony attachment here. It's a common attachment point for the flexor group of the forearm. So the muscles that move the hand this way, and they also close the fingers and they also grip. So with our daily lives, there's a lot of things that grip, and there's not very many things that open the hand strength-wise. So what starts to happen is, and this is largely sort of speculation, it's never been proven this is exactly why it happens, but clinically I have seen it a lot. So the flexor muscles become way stronger than the extensors. This puts excess pressure on the attachment point, you get pain develops, you get inflammation develops, and it cuts down on movement. People have to take time off training, or you get it in a lot of manual jobs as well. So things like carpentry, joinery, plumbers, pipe fitters, mechanics, anything that involves a lot of gripping. And there's nothing, to strengthen opening up the muscles of the hand. So we go through to fix this. If it's weightlifting and you don't do a manual job, what I would suggest is take 2 to 3 weeks rest of any movements that exacerbate it. So if it's commonly curling and chinning, so it's underhand grip movements because that uses the flexors the most. So curls, chins, rows, anything where you're basically, stopping the hand from opening and using the forearm to flex against the load. If you're pressing, obviously the flexors aren't being used as much, so normally people can get away with those movements. But then if you're only training those movements, you're at a bit of a risk of developing another kind of imbalance. So 2 to 3 weeks will get rid of probably 50% of tendonitis. If you just rest, it's going to go. If it's hanging around and you've tried resting, it's still there, then try this. So we've got 3 phases of rehab. This is what I use in my clinic, and this is what I use with people when I advise them. You've got soften, lengthen, strengthen. So first we're going to soften up these tissues around the forearm. We're going to use a technique called gua sha, which has, I believe, origins in Chinese medicine. And they used to use a coin or a soup spoon in order to, the way they said it was they would draw in toxins and things, or chi, like out of the muscle, and when they get markings on the surface, you can see I've done mine earlier because I tried to film this video, so there's some marking on here, but I had too many bloopers, so I had to cut it off. So you're going to take a blunt instrument, it's the back of a butter knife, and you're just going to sort of feather up here. Now you can use some oil. Just sort of feather all through the muscle. You'll hear when I run this on bone, it just sounds horrible and feels really uncomfortable. So get all these muscles done. And you can see where that's starting to come up nice and red. If you've got oil, it won't come up as red. Do the extensor group as well. Now, I don't know why gua sha seems to work better than other types of treatment. Is it toxins? Is it chi coming to the surface? I don't know. What I do know is that there's a lot of sensors, specific sensors in the skin that relay information back to the brain. So when you're working at the lighter level, it has different effects to working at the deeper level. And the effects that people experience from gua sha may be that, but it might be magic. We don't actually know, and the science hasn't arisen yet to tell us why it works, but I can say it does work from what I've seen. So you've done that. Obviously do both arms. You can see where I've done my other arm. This is the side I get more problems with, so it tends to come up redder on the sides that are more inflamed. But it doesn't have to come up red. You don't have to do it super hard. Even if you do it super light, it's still going to work. It's also called Graston technique or instrument assisted soft tissue massage if you want to check it out. What you're going to do after that is just search around with the fingers and find any other tight spots. So there's one there for me, going to work on that until that starts to disappear. and just work around in the muscle. You can't really go to the wrong place. Now that's really pretty sore there. And then work the insides of the forearm, particularly around here. You can use your thumb, or if your thumb is sore, you can use like some kind of blunt object. Like I've got a fake thumb that I use that gives the thumb some support. But you can roll it on a roller as well. You can roll these on a foam roller. So that's 2 to 5 minutes. That's going to get the forearm moving pretty well. And then we're going to do some stretching exercises after that. So a couple of stretches. We want to do these stretches so that we get the nerve as well as the muscle, because there's a nerve underneath, the radial, median and ulnar nerves that can get tight and contribute to this issue a little bit. So I'm going to flatten my hand against here like so. I'm going to draw my hand away and push my hand away and draw my head away. Now you should feel a stretch down the nerves of the hand. So we can hold that for 30 seconds. Then this position, with the hand flat, I'm going to draw the head away, and we're going to hold that also for 30 seconds. The bonus stretch is the ulnar nerve stretch. You can do this one as well. Now remember when you were a little kid and you used to make owl faces with your hands like this, you can do that one side. You don't actually have to do that, you can just have your fingers like this, but that's going to stretch this ulnar nerve. So 30 seconds on each of those nerve stretches. Now already, my forearm, it just feels generally much looser and much better. But we're going to do some strengthening exercises to strengthen the finger extensors as well. So I've got here a rubber band. So we've done the soften, we've done the lengthen, and it really does feel different in the wrist. And if you do push-ups or anything, you'll notice that your range of motion in the wrist has increased after doing those bits. So for this, we get an elastic band. You can see how I've put that over my fingertips there. And we're just going to open the hand against resistance. So this is working the extensor groups. Now my forearms are absolutely tiny, but even on mine, you can probably still see those muscles starting to work. And we're going to work to either fatigue or to 100 reps, whichever comes first. Now this little routine, you're going to do twice a week. Twice a week's enough. To be fair, once a week's enough if you're consistent. Twice a week, just make sure it's happening. Now that's I almost can't do any more of those. They do specialist finger braces that you can buy from climbing shops and also from climbing websites or from Amazon. Now that's an elastic band, but it's got 5 finger holes in it. If you want to spend a bit of money, it's possibly worth it because it's a bit easier. You can get a bit fiddly with the elastic band. The more fiddly things are, the less likely you are to do them. Next, we're just going to work the extensors of the forearm. So I would have my hand resting over a bench, and you just extend the forearm up like this. Again, this is working the extensor group. And we do, again, one set, up to 100 reps, or fatigue, whichever kicks in first. Probably this is kicking in. Yeah, cool. So, starting to get a good burn in these outer forearm muscles. That's going to address this strength imbalance and get my elbow feeling better. Now, for tennis elbow or lateral epicondylitis, so this is medial, for lateral the exercises are different. So if you've got lateral elbow pain on the outside, don't do these because you could well make it worse. So this is only for golfer's elbow. I'll make another video for tennis elbow. So give those a try, twice a week, just work to fatigue to get a good burn. If you are weight training and it's arisen from weight training, try taking a 2 to 3 week rest. Or if you can change your hand positions so that it doesn't aggravate it, often that can be enough and you can continue training without getting the problem back. So give those things a try. Let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear about your progress and if you manage to beat this. I can tell you now, this forearm just feels fantastic, stable and strong, and this one feels a bit clicky and funny. So always rehab both sides, because otherwise you're going to end up probably with another issue in the future. Thanks very much for watching, guys. This is Robert Joyce Training and Therapy. Please subscribe and hit the like button. I'll see you in the next video.